BJ Ojulari is the most underrated pass rusher in the 2023 NFL draft. And while I don't believe he's the best pass rusher in the draft class, there are things he can do on the football field that Will Anderson, Myles Murphy, or Tyree Wilson just cannot do. And in this video, I'll dive into exactly what those things are and why I'm such a fan. Ojulari's most tantalizing trait as a prospect is his dip in flexibility as a rusher, and that's on full display on his first play. He's lined up on the edge, outside shoulder of the tackle, and in his first two steps, you see how big of a strider he is. First off, where in 2 steps he covers 3 yards of depth to close the distance versus the tackle, and he's going to do a good job of wiping away this inside hand and then dipping that front shoulder to completely slip the hands of the tackle, reduce his target surface, and then you see the bend to contort and flatten at the top of his rush to finish for the hit. On the second play, he's at the top of the screen, and same thing, where he's going to explode out of his stance, big first stride on his first step, and then he's going to push off this inside foot to threaten outside to widen his rush angle, and then he's going to flash his hands to bait at the tackle's punch, and then he's going to pull his hands, dip that inside shoulder again, get skinny to slip and play under the hands of the tackle to flatten at the top of his rush, and you see him post on the inside hand to really flatten at this extreme angle to once again hit the quarterback. On this next play, he's going to close the distance versus the tackle. You see him once again flash those hands to bait out the tackle's punch, and then once the tackle shoots his hands, he's going to dip that inside shoulder to play low with great lean, get under the tackle, force the tackle to bend, and then he's going to flatten around the edge for the pressure. And this final play, going against Broderick Jones, who many project as a future first-round tackle, he's going to close the distance on his first step to push off, work back outside. He's going to once again flash those hands to bait Broderick Jones's punch, and he's going to pull and dip that shoulder, take away his numbers, and then you see that lean to flatten at this extreme angle once again to finish for the hit on the quarterback. And along with that dip and that ability to bend and that flexibility, he also possesses great length that he's able to weaponize as a pass rusher. On this first play, he's going to get full extension versus the tackle to control the distance and keep his pads clean and read the play fake in the backfield. And once he diagnoses the pass, he's able to control that inside pad and snatch the tackle to throw him off balance, dip that front shoulder to slip the rest of his punch, reduce his target surface, take away his numbers, and chase down the quarterback for the pressure. Let's play working against Broderick Jones once again, who many project as a first-round tackle. He's going to close the distance, then get vertical, and you see him extend on this long arm. You see the separation he's able to create to control that inside pad, take away his numbers, play skinny, and then snatch to pull him forward and off balance while dipping that inside shoulder to win around the edge for the hit on the quarterback. And while Ojulari does have a lot of room to grow as a pass rusher, he has flashed a really nice counter spin to complement the rest of his rush game. So in this first play, lined up outside shoulder of the tackle, initially he's going to threaten the inside half of the tackle, threaten this inside gap, the inside gate, and what he's going to do is plant, redirect, and win back outside on this cross chop counter spin to force the quarterback off his spot in the pocket. And on this next play, he's lined up as a wide 9 outside of the tight end, and initially he's going to beat this chip attempt by the tight end on this swim, and then he's going to engage the tackle, and you see him get a good extension with this inside arm, this long arm, to throw the tackle off balance, and then he's going to be able to spin back inside and win. Ojulari is no doubt a pass rush first player, but he has also shown some really good flashes in the run game as well. On this first play, he's lined up on the edge outside of the tackle, and he does a good job getting width and mirroring the motion of his line to maintain the edge, and then he's going to strike inside on the tackle while keeping the outside shoulder free and keeping his eyes in the backfield to create separation and escape to make the stop on the perimeter. And that length is on display once again on this next play, where he's lined up outside shoulder of the tackle over the tight end, and he's going to mirror the action of the O-line once again to maintain his gap integrity, strike inside, separate to create space and keep his pads clean versus the tackle, and then escape to make the stop. And while that length shows up, also does his dip and flexibility and lateral agility and short area quickness. On this play, he's lined up head over the tackle, and he's going to close the distance, get vertical, and then jab outside and reduce that target surface, dip that inside shoulder to knife inside and beat the tackle to make the stop at the line of scrimmage. Now I want to get into some of the weaknesses I see in Ojulari's game, and I have to start off with this play in the run game. He, on this play, is over the tackle. He's going to mirror the action to maintain his gap integrity, but he doesn't stay square to the line of scrimmage in his base. He doesn't keep both cleats in the ground. See, this foot's in the air. His base gets narrow. He gets too upright. You see the body angle, not positive. It's too straight in his body, and he's going to get driven off the ball by the tight end. And on this next play, it's going to be a similar thing. He's head up with the tight end, and he stays square this time, but you see the body angle, the shin angle. He's too upright, he's too tall, and 1-on-1 with a tight end on the edge just gets blown off the football, and it opens up the cutback lane. Another area where Ojulari will have to improve is the timing and targeting of his hands as a pass rusher. On this first play, he's rushing off the outside shoulder of the tackle, and he's going to get vertical, but the tackle is patient with his hands. He doesn't shoot his punch, and despite that, Ojulari is still predetermined and kind of locked in on shooting this cross chop. He shoots it prior to the tackle shooting his hands, and once the tackle does get hands on him, he doesn't have a move to clear or to counter, and the rush stalls out. And on this next play, once again, outside shoulder of the tackle. The tackle's once again going to be patient with his hands and not shoot his punch. And when that's the case, Ojulari is still going to look to win on this cross chop despite nothing being there to chop. He shoots it prematurely, and then the tackle is able to control his pads and completely shut down the rush. And the final concern I want to touch on with Ojulari is his over-reliance on winning vertically around the edge with speed. On this first play, the tackle is going to get depth in his vertical set and essentially take away the ability to win outside around the edge. And instead of trying to counter and exploit this big gap between the tackle and the guard, or work down the middle when the tackle has his hands low and his chest open, Ojulari is still dead set on winning vertical around the edge, and he gets pushed past the depth of the quarterback and makes no impact on this play. On this next play, Darnell Wright, who in my opinion may be a first round tackle, is going to explode out of his stance laterally and take away the ability to win around the edge, forcing Ojulari to plant and to try to win inside, but he's not going to be able to clear this post hand, and you once again see that leverage where he's playing too upright, not in a powerful, loaded posture, and just gets stopped in his tracks in the rush stalls. And for the final play, this tackle, just like we saw in the first clip, is going to get depth in his vertical set and take away the ability for Ojulari to win on this outside shoulder. And instead of countering inside or down the middle, he does what he did exactly on that first play, and he still attempts to win on that outside shoulder, and he's just going to bury himself, dip that inside shoulder, bury himself into the chest of the tackle. The tackle's able to anchor, and then the rush is completely shut down. BJ Ojulari has the movement skills, looseness, bend, and flexibility to be an elite pass rusher at the next level. He does things on the field that neither Will Anderson, Tyree Wilson, or Myles Murphy can do. And despite his upside and potential, there is a possibility that Ojulari is nothing more than a designated pass rusher at the next level due to his issues and lack of size in the run game. And even as a rusher, he can at times be a little too one-dimensional, and he lacks a power component to his rush game. But overall, I think Ojulari, day one, can thrive in a more situational pass rusher game. And he definitely has the potential to develop into the best pass rusher in this class, better than Anderson, better than Wilson, better than Murphy. And if he puts on more weight and plays with better leverage in the run game, I think there's a legit chance he's the best overall edge player in this class. And if you told me 5 years from now Ojulari was exactly that, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And if you enjoyed this video and are interested in my opinions on some of the other top prospects in this draft class, subscribe and check out the other videos in my 2023 NFL prospects playlist, which is in the link in the description below. Like, comment, all those things. Yeah, that's it.